What is happening, guys? Welcome back. So as you can see by the thumbnail and title of this video, we may have gotten ourselves another little project. Now the Mark II is still going to be an ongoing project, and this isn't the video that I was expecting to upload this week, which are for various reasons. One of them being I'm still waiting for parts to turn up for the Mark II. It's pretty much as we left it in the last video. We've not really done any more. I mean, you could all probably tell it fits on of a fashion. We might have to extend the wheelbase a little bit, but we've come up with an idea for that. Rear wheel is in virtually the centre of the arch, and around the back it's going to be tight and need a bit of trimming, but everything should work. We might have to modify the rear panel, but essentially the project's going to work. We're waiting for some parts to turn up, and I've got to go and pick up some other parts for it on Monday. Basically what we've got to do is get the chassis on, everything, air ride, everything done, down where it wants to be, the height it needs to be at, then we can put the body shell over, work where that needs to go, cut everything out we need to, and the project will continue going. So we decided to get ourselves another little project to keep us ticking over with something to do, because the Mark I did go on Thursday, which didn't expect it to be, but it was actually quite an emotional day. But a massive part of my life, this channel, getting me to where I am, not gonna lie, burst into tears when it drove off. But anyway, the car's gone. Got a nice little pocket full of money, and we're now progressing, trying to get on with a few of the projects. So we've bought ourselves a Lupo GTI as a new little project. So why a Lupo GTI? Why not? Always been on my list, always fancied one. They are starting to creep back up now. This one is 21 years old. They're starting to get to that sort of age and where there's a bit of nostalgia with them. I remember when they came out, I remember when so-and-so had one, I always wanted one, couldn't get one. They're creeping up in price, so I figured before they get sort of, not unobtainable, but get too much, we'd purchase one. And if you're an OG viewer, if you like, or you watch regular, there's a video I put out explaining where I've been or whatever, and I wanted another track car. And I've watched a few videos of these going around tracks, and they look like they are a hell of a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're not going to be stripping it out. We're going to be club sporting it. We'll go through all that a little bit later in the video. And eagle-eyed of you may notice that another reason why we're not really doing anything on the Mark II, got a bit of a problem with my face. Tuesday, Wednesday last week, working at home, working away, had a shower, got out, looked in the mirror and thought, no, it's not quite working. What's going on here? Thought I was having a stroke because the whole left side of my face doesn't work. Went to the doctors. Apparently I've got something called Bell's palsy, which is an infection in the side of your face, which basically means your eye doesn't work, my nose, I can't, my nostril don't work, and smiling, left side of it don't work, tongue's numb, mouth's numb. So yeah, left side of my face don't really work. And the doctor pretty much said, what do you do for a job? Explained what it was, said cutting, grinding, welding. He said, probably leave it for a bit. Probably don't go cutting, grinding, making loads of noise and dirt and, not noise, loads of dirt and whatever, getting it all in your eye because your eye doesn't close properly. Maybe knock that on the head for a little bit, which is another reason why we thought we'd get ourselves a clean bolt-on project car. So, all of that out of the way, let's have a walk around this Lupo GTI. So the car is a 2001. They're a 1.6, 16 valve, 125 horsepower and weight about 930, 950 kilos. As you can see already, we've got all of the different colours on the car. So the front bumper has been painted on that corner for some reason. Wing, this side is pretty much not bad. There's a little, I think there's a little dent or a crease on that rear quarter. Roof's all right. Spoiler again, and top edge of the boot been painted by the previous owner very badly. Overspray on there. We've got overspray all over the rubber for the boot, and then this rear quarter is where all of the action happens. And I think he's painted it with Hammerite or something in a brush, because it is absolutely horrendous. Door isn't shut properly. Then door paint isn't bad. Wing isn't the end of the world. We've got a little bit of something going on down here as well. Rear bumper again, that's been painted on this corner. I think he's tried to blend it for whatever reason. So essentially the car needs a complete respray, which isn't out of the realms of what we can do. So the car at some point will be getting a full respray. Round the back, boot opens up, world's smallest boot. Look how small this is, parcel shelf, hand. Yeah, this was a great sign when you're selling a car that the boot's got body filler in it, but we knew it needed a bit of work anyway. But lifting these up, back corners, both sides look okay. Exhaust does all of the moving. So we need to address that issue. We've got paint oil in the rear light as well, for some reason, where he's not masked anything out. Coming around the front, we've got paint on the wing mirror as well, which is wonderful. This corner here, bumper doesn't quite fit right. We've got a little bit of something going on here that we need to try and work out what's going on with. He's managed to paint the grills as well, because they're black that side and silver on there. What's my disgusting wheels? Really not a fan of them in the slightest. We might have offended the guy when we bought it and said they were the first things that would be coming off of it, but not really bothered. They're disgusting. But saying that, if you like them, want to buy them, they're for sale, hit me up. Free cobweb. And then coming around onto the inside, as soon as I got in the car and we got down the road, first thing I did was rip window tints off, because I cannot stand window tints. So they came off. Rears, quarters and tailgate will be coming off ASAP. Inside, the car is actually really quite clean. Door cards probably could do with a bit of a clean over. This one, he said he took this off to see if the speakers were upgraded or whatever. I bought some clips. Dash is nice and clean. Seats are actually in really good condition. There's not really there's no wear marks or wear throughs on the bolsters, on the front seats. Driver's seat doesn't go forward. Apparently the cable's broken. Rear seats, again, this is me moving stuff about. Rear seats are pretty clean, pretty tidy. Headliner, nice black headliner. We've got sunroof and we've got AC, and as well, if you're wondering, 6-speed gearbox. So apparently it is quite a rare car. And the few people that I've been chatting to that know Lupos, that I've told I bought it, and we've sort of talked through the car, they're saying, what I paid for it, regardless of the outside condition, was a pretty good buy. Under the bonnet, you can get this open. You've got your little 1.6 16 valve 125 horsepower engine. Needs going over. It has done 122,000 miles, so it's got a fair few miles on the clock. But the engines, I'm talking to someone at the minute about buying an engine that's got 94 on the clock, just to have it just in case, because a funny feeling this may go bang at some point. But yeah, it's just cool. So we picked it up from Oxford earlier in the week, and I drove it back, and it's one of the funniest cars I've driven in a very, very long time. It makes all the noise, handles so well, and doesn't go anywhere. It is so slow, but so much fun at the same time. Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. The Mark 1 was absolutely amazing. Love that car. Brilliant. Too powerful. In my opinion, for me, what I want, too powerful. That car, you just get, you could easily get in trouble in that car. Very, very easily. That, you can kick its head in, and you're still not going very fast. And it's exactly what I wanted. So, we'll jump in the car, we'll go out and take it on a little bit of a drive now, talk about how it is. Oh yeah, another little thing as well, another one of the reasons why I wanted to buy the car, she sat on less than 12-month-old BC Racing coilovers, which was pretty much half of what I paid for the car. So, we'll jump in it, go out for a quick drive, and then we'll come back, explain the plan, and I'll tell you how much I paid for it. Here we are then, out in the little Lupo, and it is, I absolutely love this little car. It's so funny to drive. First things first, when you're in it, I was driving back down the motorway and I went to check over my left shoulder to make sure there were no traffic there, and you didn't realise how close the back of the car is. This car is so small. I think from reading the specs, it's about 3 metres nose to tail. Absolutely tiny, tiny little car. Inside the cockpit, like we said before when we were in the workshop, pretty clean, pretty tidy, not really too much. I did manage to pull the cover off one of the drinks holders, but that isn't just me. I'll stick that back on, or we'll manage to get a new one or whatever. Like I said, we've got air conditioning, electric windows, sunroof, electric windows, passenger side works, driver's side doesn't. We've ordered a switch for that. I managed to pull this door card off when I was driving back through, I don't know what I was doing, but I ended up pulling it off anyway. Electric sunroof works, does what it's supposed to do, gives you all the sunlight. Close that because we don't want to go having too much wind noise. Instruments all work, do what they need to do, or appear to. Steering is okay, feels quite direct, it doesn't feel like too much slop in it. Pedals, Clutch, I'm not sure if there might be an issue with the clutch. Brakes are not the best, they need bleeding, and the throttle pedal, for some reason, if you let off, the pedal sometimes bounces up above the brake pedal, which is a little bit irritating, so we need to have a look at that. And the gearbox, first, second, third, fourth and fifth, C, Mk, sixth, you have to force it in a little bit. Sometimes you do, sometimes you just do it without thinking and it goes in. It does stay in, we're in sixth at the moment, but yeah, it can need a little bit of forcing, if you like, to go in. But yeah, it's a 21-year-old car that's been daily driven, and when we looked on the logbook when we received the car, it's had 14 owners. 14, I will be the 15th owner of this vehicle, so it's had quite a few owners. But we're on a little twisty road now, so we'll put a foot down and have a little bit of fun, because it really doesn't move the fastest, but when you get it up the rev range, man, it's a lot of fun. And you throw it into something and it'll just come out the other side. Like, we're not even doing 50 mile an hour yet and it's screaming its head off. It's just hilarious. So much fun, so direct. And we've got, I can't remember quite what tyres are on the car, but they're big heavy wheels as well, which aren't going to be the best of thing for it. We have bought some new wheels though, that are sat in the workshop ready to go on it. But grand scheme, it goes, it stops, it pulls okay. I would like, if anyone knows anyone around here or anywhere that's got a dyno, I'd like to get it on a dyno to see what power it's pulling 21 years after it came out of the factory, if we're still even anywhere near even 100 horsepower. It would be interesting to know what it's got left. I've got a plan for a few little engine modifications. We're not going to go doing anything stupid. I don't think, having had the Mark 1 and things like that, I think 20 valve in it or something like that is just too much for the chassis. It just overpower the chassis. This is a nice little NA. We can get it, I've seen you can get the this engine to about 160, 170 horsepower, which I think would be more than enough. Light and flywheel, bit of a better cam in it, nicer exhaust, induction kit, port and polish, things of that nature. But we shall see what's coming on. But yeah, if anyone knows a dyno, hit me up. Let's get it on the dyno and see what she's pulling. But I've said it before, I don't really know what to do on these sort of review style videos. I'm not a car reviewer. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just know that this car puts a smile only on half of my face, but it puts such a smile on your face driving it, because it's just, you kick its head in and it doesn't go anywhere, which is really, in my opinion, what you want on the road. You don't need, the Mark 1 was too powerful for the road. You like I said before, you can easily get in trouble with it. That you would be in trouble in that car before you got out of second gear. Whereas this one, yeah, less power but more fun. I'm really looking forward to getting it out on track at some point, because the chassis do look brilliant. There is a little knock from this driver's corner, which I'm not sure. We'll have to get it on the ramp and have a look. We did have it on the ramp the other day and had a quick look, and we were pleasantly surprised underneath. It was nowhere near as bad as we expected it to be under there. But yeah, fun little car. We'll get it back to the unit and we will explain to you a little bit about the parts that we've ordered and the direction we're going with it. So I'll see you back at the workshop. I promise you, it might not look it, but this car really does put a smile on your face. It is so much fun. So we actually paid £2,250 for this little Lupo. That car, it's just hilarious. It is such a funny and fun little car to drive. You don't need all of the power. And I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I do. So, talk through what the plan with the car is. Obviously, goes without saying, externally, it needs a makeover. It needs a respray. It needs a blow over. We need to sort the grills out. We need to get the paint off of different areas. It definitely needs a new set of wheels. Underneath, it needs a going over, a check over, make sure everything's okay. Parts that have been ordered for the car: a pair of bucket seats with all the mounts, harness bar, steering wheel and boss. What else have we got? We've got the wheels to go on, I've ordered upgraded brake lines for the front. What else have we ordered? I've read online, and I'm going to do a little bit more research, and we will probably be putting a video out on it, that there is a very cheap way of putting a 280mm brake upgrade on this car, and you only have to buy one additional part to what you would need as a sort of service item anyway. So hopefully be doing that as well. What else have we done? We're going to be club sport in the rear, so we're going to take the rear seats out, put a false boot floor in. I'm trying to get hold of a K-brace at the minute for it as well. And then induction kit, things like that nature haven't been ordered, but if we've got a bit of budget left over, we'll be on with them. And then the main thing that really needs doing, full service, cam belt, water pump, coolant, brake fluid, all the service items that really need doing, the boring bits that need doing to a car. But that's what we've bought. That's what we're going to be doing with it. We will be tracking it, but I'm going to be playing with it on the road as well. Yeah, I know it's a little bit different to what we're supposed to be putting out with the Mark II. We will be getting back on with that. Don't think that I'm not getting on with it. There's obviously a lot going on at the minute. Picking air ride up for it on Monday for the Mark II, so we'll be back on with that hopefully in the next week or two. Face, depending. So, that's that one then, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I can't wait to get stuck into this little car. It's amazing. We need to get it sorted out because Mr. Main Automotive down there may have also bought himself a new little tractor. He's got a race car. So we've got some new toys to go out and play in. So we need to get this one sorted so we can get out in it. But we should leave that one there, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Until next time, enjoy. This awkward smile.